Today we're going to do a watch along on a video I've been wanting to watch for a few days now called Exposing the Biggest Lies That Etsy Gurus Tell You. So if you're ready to get started, so am I. I'll also drop a link to it in the description, and I'm going to try to do some commentary along the way. I think that's how reaction videos are supposed to work, so apologies if I get a little too excited. I felt like I talked too much the last time I did one of these videos. I'm going to try to not talk as much, but let's get to it.
Let's be real. There are a ton of videos out there telling you how to succeed on Etsy.
Wait, did I make it into those? Sorry, you're going to get mad at me already for stopping, but I got to see if I was in one of these. Oh, I am. Look, there it is. Shop reviews. Boom.
Telling
Yes.
you how to succeed on Etsy. But most of it is total BS. You've probably seen people saying you need thousands of listings or running ads from day one is a must. But it's all crap. So in this video, I'm going to expose the top 15 lies you've been told, and I'm going to get you on the right track for success instead of chasing strategies that are leaving you broke.
By the way, I don't know George, but also I totally get that this is a great hook for a video, and whether or not he's really going after gurus, because I have no clue. I haven't watched the video. I do love it as a hook. I get it. You know what I mean? If you want people to actually watch your content, you got to put out content that people want to watch. Also, shout out to his shelf in the background there. That is the same shelf that I have in the background, so we have similar taste.
The first myth we're tackling is the idea that you need a magic number of listings in order to succeed. You may have heard people say it's 100, while others claim it's 1,000, but none of that is true. What really matters is the quality of your listings. You need to understand who you are targeting and whether your designs resonate with them or not. It doesn't matter if you have 5 listings or 5,000s. If your designs are crap or all over the place without any real direction, you're never going to succeed. And listen, this is number one because it's the biggest lie of them all. Not only just because of the amount of listings, but also people saying that you need to list every day. I've shown several stores on my channel.
All right, for what it's worth, real quick, I'm going to disagree about telling people you need to list every day. I don't think that if you frame that in the sense of if you do this, you will be successful, I don't like that. But if you help gamify having a print-on-demand business and challenge people to list at least one product a day, I can see how that would help, because so much of doing anything in life that you don't have to do is finding a way of tricking yourself to show up and put in the work, right? So I think when you give people a benchmark of aspire to hit this number of listings or to do this every day, I think it may be more that, but you know what I mean? Ultimately, right, we have to show up and do the work. You have to be a doer. Anybody who joined my automated email series, my free print-on-demand course, the first email you would get for years was talking about being a doer. And I had a little picture I drew in Microsoft Paint with the split line down the middle, and it said what most of my friends do when they get home from work, and it was them in front of the TV watching Netflix, and then it said what I do on the other side, and it was me at my computer building businesses. You know what I mean?
Less than 10 items making millions. And hey, one of my stores, I only have 35 items. And guess what? I haven't added a new listing in over 2 years. And it still generates 6 figures annually. So the truth, focus on your SEO, compelling designs, and understand the audience you're targeting. Forget the numbers and concentrate on what works, not a number.
I just wanted to point out really quickly, and I promise I'll shut up, that anytime you are looking at the people that are successful at something in life, you are also there's, I don't know what to call it. If there's a logical fallacy or something named associated with it. But when you see the people that are successful, what you're not seeing is literally everybody else that didn't achieve that level of success. So when you hear somebody that was able to launch an Etsy shop with 35 listings that generated 6 figures, it doesn't mean that he's secretly got the formula to do that again. A lot of it is just, hey, you know what I mean? Maybe he deactivated all the listings that weren't successful, but for sure, most listings that you launch, if you sell print on demand on Etsy, are not going to be successful. I think most people would agree.
Number 2 is Etsy's oversaturated. You've probably heard people claim that Etsy is too crowded for new sellers. So let's just put that to rest. Etsy has roughly 60 million listings. Compare that to platforms like eBay with 2 billion or Amazon with 600 million, and you'll see there's plenty of opportunity here. Success doesn't come down to the size of the platform. It's about optimizing your listings, marketing your products, and standing out in your niche. With the right approach, Etsy can be an incredibly lucrative platform. And
I wish I knew what he was selling. I don't know if he's a POD seller or not. Let me know in the comments. Because what he's saying isn't wrong, but it also definitely like what you're selling, I think has a lot to do with like how much time you should be spending optimizing listings versus creating more listings. But I like how he shared the number of listings active on eBay, Amazon, and Etsy for comparison.
I show this many times in my previous videos, where companies take over an entire market within just 2 to 3 months, not years. It's usually the lazy people that claim it's oversaturated. So stop listening to those losers.
And depending on what you're selling, it's also different, right? Like if you want to sell print on demand, not all print on demand products are created equal. Obviously, like t-shirts are going to be way more saturated than if you wanted to sell print on demand socks or something like that.
3, China is taking over. There's all this talk about Chinese shops taking over.
Literally true about Amazon, by the way.
Over Etsy. Here's the reality. Fewer than 5,000
I don't know if you checked recently, but Amazon is absolutely flooded.
Etsy shops are actually based in China. The majority of sellers are from the US, UK, and Canada. The reason you see so many shops or products from certain countries is due to their heavy advertising. Shops spending more money on ads get more visibility. It's that simple. So no, Etsy isn't being taken over, and your success is still entirely within your control. 4, you need to run ads
I thought that was a good point, by the way. I agree with that one.
right away. A common piece of advice is you should run ads from day one to gather insights about your audience. But here's the problem. If your listings aren't optimized and your designs suck, then running ads is like throwing money into a black hole. You'll get clicks, sure, but without a clear understanding of who your audience is and compelling listings, those clicks aren't going to turn into sales. You have to build a solid foundation first. You need to know your audience, optimize your listings, and then you can consider ads. Ads aren't some magic secret that's going to instantly generate money. It's a strategic tool, not a quick fix. And it's also not going to help you find your audience. If your designs are still all over the place, then you're going to be getting traction from everywhere. 5 is a big one.
I like that one about ads. That's honestly why I've been so hesitant to heavily invest in ads for the most part for my business. Now, when I sold Amazon FBA, I spent a ton of money on ads. But when I did FBA, like I was so heavily invested into like optimizing my listings to be flawless. When I'm doing like print on demand, like I've definitely underspent with ads because I always felt like if I didn't do my best to make these listings as good as I possibly could, as George keeps saying, then I felt like I'd be throwing money away, because I mean, you wouldn't technically have to be throwing money away, but if you could like increase your conversion rate by making simple optimizations that you just didn't have the time to do, then it's harder to run ads.
Don't niche down. Let's talk about the idea that you need to have some sort of general store on Etsy in order to succeed. You might have heard people saying, list all the kind of items that you feel a certain audience or person is going to buy. But here's the truth. This is just a recipe for disaster. A general store dilutes your brand, confuses your customers, and makes it impossible to build a loyal following. You're not a Dollar General. This is online shopping, and consumers have the ability to shop for what they want. Think about it. Have you ever jumped online looking for, say, a pillowcase, and then all of a sudden thought, you know what would go good with this pillow? A dog bowl. Probably not. So why would you have a shop like that? Instead of trying to sell everything, focus on one niche. Specialization builds trust and makes your shop memorable. People don't return to general stores. They return to brands that stand out and do one thing exceptionally well. So narrow your focus, build a cohesive brand, and watch your sales grow.
It's good advice. The only problem is like, if only we could split test this where it's like, it's Ryan A in one universe and Ryan B in another universe. And in one, I did the niche shop, which every point he made is true about a niche shop, right? Theoretically, that you can bring them back. And obviously there's strategies you would want to implement to increase the prevalence of that. But an option, Ryan B, universe B, I do my general shop, which is what I do in real life. And hey, I see a niche, I go at it. I want to sell a completely new product type, I list it. You know what I mean? It's simple, it's to the point. There's something to be said about keeping things simple and just keeping things easy. And, you risk a lot by making things too complicated, because when things get too complicated, sometimes nothing gets done. And with the general shop, again, it's like all the points he made about having a niche down shop, true. Do you sacrifice that with the general shop? Yes, to some extent. but you got to figure out what works for you. I think that's what I would say.
Number 6, and I bet you can guess who says this one: only sell to rich people. There's this myth floating around that you should primarily focus on wealthy shoppers. So let's set the record straight. The majority of Etsy buyers are middle-income families, according to Etsy's recent statistics. And this is directly from Etsy themselves. 78% of its consumers make less than $100,000 a year. They're not looking for luxury priced items. They're looking for affordable, one-of-a-kind
How does Etsy know that? Isn't that weird? How would they know?
and products that add a personal touch to their lives. So don't price your products based on the assumption that rich people are flocking to Etsy. Instead, focus on offering value for money and creating items that resonate emotionally with your audience. That's how you'll drive sales and build customer loyalty. Number 7, the visibility game. Some say it takes 60 to 90 days for your listing to gain visibility, and you shouldn't touch that listing during that time frame. Honestly, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. If your SEO is strong and your photos are appealing, your listing can get clicks within a day. It's all about relevance and
I've had listings sell like minutes after launching them, because when you launch a product, you pay the renewal fee, and it used to be like more prevalent, but like when you renew a listing, it gets a temporary boost in SEO. At least that's what they used to say. And I experienced it like literally multiple times. I would launch a brand new product and it would sell in minutes. Now, a lot of that was luck, and a lot of that was pre 2019 when everybody jumped to Etsy to sell print on demand. But yeah, I had never heard about this either, this one.
quality. Use long-tail keywords that match exactly what customers are searching for. For
Best piece of advice he said, all video right there, because I know how much of a difference that can make.
instance, raccoon shirts for women. Align every element of your listing with what that buyer is looking for. The more keywords that you can have match their search, the more likely your item will be seen. For information about SEO and long-tail keywords, check out this video. It's a little older, so I'm sorry for the quality, but this will help you fully understand how Etsy's SEO and keywords work. I also plan to make a more updated version very soon, so keep an eye out for that. Number 8, you need to renew or create listings daily. Listen, Etsy's algorithm doesn't care how often you list an item. It cares about the quality of your shop and the listings you make. Etsy evaluates each listing and provides it with a quality score. If your products meet their standards, then you'll naturally rank higher. Meaning if you put 100 pieces of crap out there, and to top it off, your shop doesn't have things like a return policy, good customer service, or reviews, then your 100 items will be thrown deep in the search pages, and they'll never be found. So align with customer searches, create high quality listings that convert, and make sure your shop and listings follow Etsy's quality score guidelines. Number 9.
I wanted to mention that I think like, and I'm quite confident in this, that like the biggest determining factor of the success of your Etsy shop is you need to prove to Etsy that you are a seller that is going to fulfill orders on time. Like he was saying, like keep the customers happy with customer service metrics, etc. And then, building positive reviews on your shop, etc. I know this is obvious, but like literally it's silly, but I think a lot of people agree that like when you have momentum building behind your shop, you start to see products that maybe have been listed for a year start to sell that never sold. And you're like, what the heck? And it may be for the reasons he mentioned, where it's like, but I almost like attribute it to the whole shop altogether of like, if you can even just get one listing in a trending niche that's selling regularly, maybe a few times a day, and you're getting those orders out and the customers are happy, watch what happens. It's got like a rising tide effect that'll affect your whole shop, and listings that you maybe thought would like never sell, ever, or maybe never sell again. Maybe they sold like once and then you'll start resurrecting them,
9, SEO equals first page ranking. SEO is crucial, but it's not the golden ticket to ranking number 1. Etsy rewards sellers who generate revenue. The more money you can make for Etsy, especially in a short period, then the more the algorithm promotes your shop. While SEO is an important piece of this puzzle, it's your ability to drive sales that ultimately pushes you to that first page. And this is why you might see some shops only a month or two old already ranking number 1. It's not about their SEO, it's about their sales. After all, Etsy is a business, and they want money, just like you.
So he basically just confirmed what I was saying a second ago. Yeah, I agree with that.
So, simply put, if you make them money, they'll push you and your shop. Number 10. Etsy's algorithm favors older shops. Honestly, this myth comes from all the losers out there. Etsy doesn't play favorites based on how long you've been around. Now, this may sound a little contradicting to the last myth about ranking number 1, especially based on sales volume, but it isn't. Etsy prioritizes factors like listing quality, customer service, and sales performance. New shops with strong listings and sales can gain traction very quick. And if you're an older shop and you start slipping, or you don't keep your quality of performance, then you can easily be sent to the back of the room just as quick. New shops can achieve great success very quick, or even quicker than older shops. And to prove that point, I feature shops on my channel that were able to dominate their niches within months, proving this is a complete lie. The age of your shop doesn't matter. Your strategy does. Number 11.
I agree with George here. I just wanted to mention that if you use the Everbee Chrome extension, then in search results, you can see the listing age and the number of sales on that listing. And it's interesting because what you realize is there's a lot more products that are like relatively new that Etsy does let get some exposure to see how they're going to perform, which I think, Amazon is notorious for, if you ask me as well. And it does give like you a chance at making sales even if you've got new listings. Now, I don't know how much of that is associated with like the shop and is it an established shop, but it's an interesting theory. Maybe it is that those listings that maybe are brand new with no sales are from more established shops that Etsy trusts. So interesting.
11. Ads guarantee your sales. As I said earlier, running ads isn't some magical formula. If your designs don't appeal to your target audience or your listings aren't optimized, ads aren't going to save you. You need products people want to actually buy. Otherwise, you're just going to be wasting money. So before you run any ad, ensure it's actually getting hits. You want to see views, favorites, and even purchases. This at least indicates that your item is appealing. And running an ad will definitely ensure the best results. Not doing this, then you will suffer and lose money. Number 12. Free shipping is mandatory for success. This is stupid. I have personally never had free shipping.
Me neither.
Well, I offer it, but only for orders over for $35.
All right, I agree with that too.
Offering free shipping isn't required. However, Etsy did roll out this new policy in 2024, and it requires your shipping price to be under $6 for US residents. Anything over $6 will lose visibility.
See, they say that, but is anybody else in the boat that I'm in where, like, I've been testing if that's really the case, and I am not completely convinced that it is. Keep in mind that if you've ever worked at a tech company, the people who write that public-facing articles that may say, like, you will have a reduction in visibility aren't necessarily, they're almost never the engineers that actually, like, are on the back end writing the code that actually docks your visibility. Like he said earlier, if you're making Etsy money, I think they'll continue to promote your stuff, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. I mean, typically it's bad advice to go against Etsy if they say they're going to, like, reduce visibility, but I don't know. I'm still not like feeling 100% certain that actually was implemented in reality. I know that there's text on a screen that implies it's true. I just don't know. I'd love to hear from you guys.
So make sure you offer competitive shipping rates, like $5.99 or less, and you'll be fine. Offering free shipping for orders over $35 is a good middle ground, and it's something I personally do. However, again, it's not required. Always prioritize your margins over myths. Number 13, Etsy brings in traffic. Now, this is true. Etsy brings in millions of people to its platform each and every month, but that doesn't mean those visitors are actually looking for your items. And it doesn't mean you're automatically going to find your shop and get sales. Successful sellers use external marketing. Think Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. We drive additional traffic to our listings. So if you end up coming across a listing with a ton of views and sales, it's very likely that that company is running ads in various places. Now, that doesn't mean you can't gain sales with organic traffic. Etsy is a great starting point, but relying solely on this will limit your potential. However, again, before running any ads, make sure your listings are quality products that people actually want to buy. No one wants to pay top dollar.
He also didn't mention Google, but like if you're posting listings to Etsy and Amazon and eBay, like three of my favorite places to sell, and Walmart too, you're getting indexed by Google and often getting very favorable placement in Google search results, Google being the #1 most trafficked website in the world.
For garbage. And I don't want to see you throw money away. Number 14, you need to be an SEO expert. No, you don't. You just need to understand what SEO is and how to use the tools Etsy provides you for more visibility. For instance, attributes. These help optimize your listings. A great example would be a blue shirt. If you set your attribute color to blue, even if you don't have that color named in the title or the tags, when a customer searches for a blue shirt, your listing will appear. Now, in addition to this, a quick, easy way to find out what consumers are actually looking for, look at predictive text. Use Etsy or platforms like Google and Amazon to identify popular searches people are actually searching for. You'll gain everything you need without an SEO background or tool. And if you're curious on how to use predictive text to gain this insight, check out this video. I'll link it below. Number 15, lower prices guarantee more sales. Cutting prices or using loss leaders often backfires. Online shoppers are focused. They search for specific items. Pricing your products to reflect their value is better for building trust and long-term success. Don't try to undercut everybody.
I agree with that. I don't think we should be in a race to the bottom. I hate when I see that too. Like I was mentioning earlier, he was saying, oh, Etsy's not getting taken over by Chinese sellers. But I mentioned like Amazon definitely is. And you can usually spot them without even looking at the seller profile because like they won't even be competing with many people on something, but they will instantly cut their price to like $14 for a t-shirt. And that includes shipping. It's like, you don't need to instantly go that low. It makes things look cheap. I think it lessens the perceived value of the product. I don't know. Just wanted to mention that like I'm all for maintaining healthy margins. It is ultimately why we're here anyways. Like we want to build a business that makes us money, right?
You destroy your margins and people don't have to come back to your shop. So if you offer an item at a super cheap rate, there's nothing that says that they have to come back and buy more. In addition to this, if you offer variations at a lower price to attract clicks, they may feel deceived, and in that case, leave your shop without making a purchase. So keep this in mind when pricing your items. Margin.
Yeah, what he just said is like where you add like the youth size shirt and you charge like $7 for it, but then you also charge like $30 for a, Gildan 18,000 sweatshirt or something. Yeah, I don't think the disparity should be that wide. He used what he said earlier about like pass some of that pricing along to the shipping charge, $5.99 at checkout or something.
And product value are super important. Now that we've cleared the air of all these common myths, I feel like you're ready to approach Etsy with clarity and confidence. And please, forget all the bad advice and only focus on what really works, not all that bullshit. If someone says one thing and then the next day they change their mind, it's probably not somebody you want to listen to. They have zero clue on what's going on. So stop listening to that person. If you have any questions, please leave me.
Let me know what you guys thought about this video. You guys heard my thoughts as we went through it. Honestly, I didn't know if he was going to start naming his favorite Etsy gurus or something like that, or if he had like one specific one in mind that inspired him to make this video. But I thought it was pretty cool to like bring up generic Etsy advice, and then he gave his thoughts. Since I'm doing the reaction, to give mine as we went. It would be cool to see like kind of an open forum where we do bring together a bunch of Etsy gurus and kind of like hash out our preferences with a lot of this stuff. But I think the one takeaway from this video, hopefully, is that there's a lot of ways to make money with print on demand. There's a lot of ways to make money with Etsy print on demand. Like the majority ways that I make money selling print on demand on Etsy are the opposite of what he was saying, because at the root of my approach to starting an online business is the time is money equation. And it's easy for a talking head to say, yeah, just, make sure every listing you ever launch is perfectly optimized, no matter how many hours it takes. But on the flip side of that, it's like, wait a second, or reinvest those hours doing other things. Like instead of being all in on Etsy, start an Amazon business with the time that you save by not perfectly optimizing every Etsy listing. This isn't me trying to like take shots at anybody, but I'm always going to keep it 100 with you guys. Like time is money, time is money, time is money. Nobody will deny that. And launching a perfectly optimized Etsy listing doesn't guarantee it's going to be successful. That's why I know that some of my listings will be successful, but not all. And if I go establish myself on Amazon, on Etsy, on eBay, on Walmart, even Redbubble, I'm increasing the likelihood of success and diversifying my income streams for print on demand, and then starting a YouTube channel, etc. Right? This is an extension of my print on demand business at this point. And I'm a lot more secure. You know what I mean? I don't have all my eggs in one basket. So there's something to be said about that as well. Anyways, I'm gonna drop a link to George's video in the description. If you enjoyed this, go show him some love and tell him I sent you. And thank you so much for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe and check out his content because he made the first video. That's what's most important. And I'll see you guys soon with another new video.